kabla tujaenda kotini, kwa sababu haki yetu ni kwenda kotini, na tutaenda kotini kusema hivi, kusema kwamba ile basari tunapeana tukiwa county atupei mashule. So we are not performing the roles of the national government. Wanasema tukilipia mwanafunzi fees ambaye hapa Chohori ya gas tunafanya kazi ya national government. Mimi sijapea shule ya Chohori ya boys pesa ya kujenga class, sijawapatia pesa ya kupika, sijawapatia pesa ya kufanya kitu kingine chochote, lakini Gacheri ile amezaliwa kijiji ya Mungu. Hiyo ni kazi yangu nikiwa governor, nipatie pesa aende shule, ahitimu, akuwe daktari. Kweli ya Moroko. Kwa hivyo haiwezi kuwa kusema kwamba Gacheri na Gitonga ambaye wako kwa kijiji na wanataka kusomeshwa. Hiyo ni kazi ya national government. We are not interfering with the national government function. Tunafanya kazi ya kuinua wananchi wapi? Na kama tulipitia sheria tukiwa county assembly. Hiyo basari imekuwa ikipeanwa tangu control of budget akuja. Ile budget tumepitisha juzi. Huyo controller of budget alipitisha na tukapeana basari last year. Nini imebadilika saa hii ambaye anasema kwamba hatuwezi peana basari? Hiyo ndio anasema ni siasa.
At the same time, Nandi County Governor Stephen Sang has also criticized the control of budget Margaret Nyakango for her statement that county governments should not be giving bursaries to students and that it is the responsibility of the national government. Governor Sang has said the control of budget statement is wrong and aims to undermine the performance of county governments.
We have increased our bursary from 20 million to 60 million a year to 120 million a year. But we are getting a caution from the controller of budget saying that education is a national government function and that then county government should not be able to support. And we have made 2 points. That one, there are many national government functions that we have had to handle as county governments. But also national government is handling a lot of default functions. So if they want to tell us that we should not touch education, then they should not allow national government to touch water, to touch roads, to touch, let's just be clear. So who are you stopping? If you are stopping county governments from doing something that is within national government, then also stop national government from doing what belongs to county government. So it cannot, the law has to cut both ways. So you cannot just come and tell us, don't do this, it's a national government function, and then on the other side, you allow national government, CDF, and many agencies of government to do what is devolved. So, we are just telling the controller of budget and the IGRTC that make up your mind. This confusion has been created more by you allowing national government ministries, departments, and agencies to continue expending national government resources in doing county functions. Let every arm of government do their job.
I'd love to know what your thoughts are concerning this particular, story on the county bursaries and the directive by the controller of budget who sent out a press, I'd call it a memo to all county executives of finance across all the 47 counties and said, if you're going to issue out bursaries as a county government, then you need to bring a paper that has been signed or agreed upon between the national government and the county government. And so I'd love to know what your thoughts are concerning this. Does this further enhance accountability on how money is used across the public sector? Is this a question of, at what point do we now bring all these bursaries together and just form one, education kitty? Let's just have an education kitty instead of having, members of parliament bursaries, MCS bursaries, county governors bursaries, and any other scholarships that may be within the public service. So I'd really love to know what you think about that as we continue with this bulletin. Now, let's go to State House, shall we? 3 newly appointed cabinet secretaries were sworn in on Friday and consequently took office. During the swearing-in ceremony, President William Ruto said he was confident that Mutahi Kagwe William Kabogo and Lee Kinyanjui are highly experienced in politics and governance and have brought those skills into government. Kagwe takes over the agriculture and livestock docket, Lee Kinyanjui in trade, and William Kabogo for ICT and the digital economy.
I, William Kabogo Gitau, being appointed a Cabinet Secretary of Kenya,
do swear that I will at all times be faithful to the Republic of Kenya,
that I will obey, respect, and uphold this Constitution of Kenya and all other laws of the Republic.
Specifically to my three friends. We know each other very well, and we've come a distance together, and I know what you can do for not this administration, but for the people of Kenya. At the Ministry of Agriculture, which I have some experience, there is underway a major transformation, a shift from consumption subsidies to production support. I was very impressed to see the Honorable Kagwe take on the questions from members of Parliament with great understanding of where we want to go from here. And I am sure and confident that the transformation in the agricultural sector that is necessary from enhancing productivity, adding value to what we produce, and finding the routes to market for what we have produced is going to be front and center of your leadership of the team at the Ministry of Agriculture.
At the same time, the head of states, United Democratic Alliance and Amani National Congress have merged to form the United Democratic Alliance Party. UDA chairperson Cecily Mbarire announced that Lamu County Governor Issa Timami, who was ANC's party leader, will be one of the new outfit's deputy party leaders. Mbarire, who's also the governor of Embu County, also said Kelvin Lunani, who was ANC's chair, will be the new party's vice chair. Omboko Milemba, ANC's Secretary General, now becomes the new party's Deputy Secretary General. Milemba is also the Member of Parliament for Emuhaya constituency in Vihiga County. The merger event was held at State House in Nairobi on Friday and was witnessed by President William Ruto and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. Mudavadi was the party leader of ANC after he joined, just before he joined the Kenya Kwanza government in 2022.
We're extremely happy as the UDA party that finally we've come to the end of this process, a process that began way back last year, but one late and early last year, but stalled because we had challenges and bottlenecks and mitego kila mahali. But because of our new deputy party leader, His Excellency the Deputy President, when he came in, he ensured he opened up that process, unlocked and took care of every mitego and ensured that we are here today. So today, we are happy as the UDA because we are no longer the party that locked out the rest of the nation. We are no longer the party of shareholding. You don't need a certificate of shareholding.
This is a momentous day that we have witnessed the signing of a formal merger agreement between the UDA party and the ANC party. This is the vision of both the parties to bring people together. Our president has always been emphasizing and has always been preaching that the unity of our people is paramount. So by UDA and ANC coming together, this is part of our contribution to bringing the people of Kenya together. And we shall move all over the country and work to bring our people together, because I think that's the starting point.
The National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi now blames the previous regime for the current financial tribulations the country is facing. While speaking in Kisumu, Mbadi said the last regime overborrowed to fund the country's budget, leaving a huge chunk of debt repayment burden to the current regime, adding that such overzealous borrowing almost put the country's economy into its deathbed.
These people almost ruined our economy, those who worked before. But we cannot continue lamenting and complaining forever. A solution must be found, and that solution must be found now, not tomorrow. And that is the responsibility I've been given by the president when I was appointed out of consultation between Raila Amolo Odinga and President William Samoei Ruto. These two individuals sat together and made a decision that it is Mbadi who can help. Out of the 55 million Kenyans, I am not very special. But what I know, that God has a purpose. There is a reason why God decided to choose me out of all these Kenyans to put me in that position so that I can help Kenya get out of this economic quagmire.
Well, at the same time, Mbadi has assured schools that capitation funds will be disbursed next week. Addressing concerns over delays, he explained that the government prioritized repaying external loans, a process that has now been completed, paving the way for the release of funds. Mbadi urged school administrators to remain calm, stating that the Treasury will release 48.8 billion shillings, representing 50% of the annual budget allocation to the education sector. Additionally, 31 billion shillings will be disbursed to counties to ensure their operations continue.
The reason why we have not released capitation is because this month we had to pay 70 billion loan to external borrowers, which now we have completed paying this week. Next week we are releasing 48 billion shillings for capitation. So schools, please don't panic. Teachers, don't panic. School managers, don't panic. Next week, Treasury will release 48.8 billion, which is 50% of this year's budget, to fund our education system. We believe that education system is critical and important, a social function. And then after that, I will release money to the counties. That will be the next priority item. We will release 31 billion to counties so that our counties are also continue to function effectively. After that is when I will start paying salaries, which will also take 75 billion shillings. If you add those amounts, you are already at 225 billion. And every month we only collect on average 230. So you can see how we have challenges. That is the transparency John Mbadi promised to the people of Kenya as the minister. Wacha nimalizie ya kusema ya kwamba watu wa Kakamega.
To the corridors of courts, the Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI boss Amin Mohammed failed yet again to appear in court for the fourth time in a row, informing the court that they were not properly served with summons to appear before it. On January 13th, Justice Mwita ordered Kanja and Amin to appear in person on Friday to address the disappearance of 3 men in Mlolongo, Machakos County in December 2024. However, the two did not attend court as directed. Now, during the court proceedings, lawyer Paul Nyamodi, representing the two police chiefs, explained to Justice Chacha Mwita that his clients were not properly served with the January 8th orders. He cited the use of an incorrect email address as the reason for the failure to comply with the judge's directives.
My Lord, there is an absurdity in that position. One, the National Police Service is not a party to these proceedings. Secondly, my Lord, the National Police Service is present almost everywhere in this country. If service on an officer of the National Police Service would then be deemed to be proper, if that was the manner in which the email address was obtained, then untold havoc would be told. As was captured in the Sifuna decision, the email service is envisaged to be personal.
The stories we have heard from the others who are abducted, they have indicated that they are held in places where they were beaten up, dark rooms, somewhere within Nairobi, and then later on they felt that they were transferred to a military installation to recover, and where they were treated better so that they could access. We are aware some people have been found dead and others have disappeared completely. I am really pleading with the government and with the security officers. The Constitution demands that whoever is in charge of security, the biggest responsibility goes to the president.
The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers is demanding the resignation of the Health Cabinet Secretary, the Director General at the Ministry, and the Chair of the Social Health Authority over failures that have been experienced with the new health insurance scheme. The clinical officers who have vowed to go on strike beginning Monday have decried exclusion from pre-authorization of SHA patients, yet they are manning over 1,000 facilities that they say SHA fails to recognize.
For a clinical officer to be able to see a patient through the Social Health Authority, the Social Health Authority must recognize that clinical officer. How do they recognize them? They recognize them through empanelment. Empanelment is including them in the register of the recognized practitioners. By the date that they didn't recognize the clinical officers council, then they cannot recognize the clinical officers because the registration and licensure comes from the Clinic Officers Council.
Patients are not able to get outpatient services from a level 5 hospital with this insurance cover. And therefore, the private hospitals end up now offering these services to our patients. So we are a frustrated lot because we have patients who are suffering and they are not able to access care because we have not been allowed to offer services to patients who have been registered by the Social Health Authority.
The CS, the CEO who I saw in the press the other day, the chair of the Social Health Authority, and the Director General, who is the highest ranked officer, who is the technical advisor to the government on matters of health. They are misleading the government and they are misleading Kenya. And in any case, they are the problem why Kenyans are complaining about the Social Health Authority. We do not celebrate going on strike, but a strike that has been orchestrated by the government and they are not willing to step back and enforce the law, we have no choice but to go on strike.
Former President Uhuru Kenyatta has rallied the Kenyan youths against relenting in their fight for democracy and better governance. Speaking during the burial service of his cousin Kibathi Muigai at Nairobi Chapel on Friday, the retired president took issue with the younger Kenyan generation for presumably displaying fear in addressing society's ills and defending their rights. Kenyatta underscored that it was wrong for citizens to remain mum as their resources are mismanaged and bad leadership prevails.
Shida ya watu siku hizi, everybody ana sijui mumeogopeshwa, sijui even you gena naona rudi uingie hii majenzi nyinyi ndio the story of the future. Fight for your rights bwana. Sio kukakaa hapo wakaa hapo mambo mali yenu ichukuliwe na nini mumeitolea jasho. Msikubali, pambaneni muhakikishe mumepata haki yenu. Mnasikia nyinyi? Sio kukaa hapo tu. Kuna kitu inadumu. But everything is worth a fight for. If you don't fight for it, ikienda mtu asilie. Msimame mupiganie haki yenu. Na mko na hawa watoto wamebaki ambao wako tayari kupigania haki yao. Waungane pamoja nanyi. Can't just stand there and let people take your hard-earned sweat. Dunia iendi namna hiyo. Muwe watu ambao hawataogopa, wataishi kama my friend. Ameenda detention, si alitoka na akaendelea na maisha. Hata nyinyi teteeni haki zenu. Sio kukaa tu munaogopa. Kuogopa sasa ni sisi tutulie sisi. Ninyi ndio mko na nguvu ya kupambana na hiyo watu. But we are behind you. Muendelee namna hiyo.
Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki has concluded the Embu County Development Tracking Forum with elected leaders, economic sector leaders and other stakeholders based at the grassroots. This initiative is expected to be replicated in all other 46 counties. The forum has enabled to track the implementation of government programs and projects across all sectors, including those for the revitalization of critical value chains and job creation objectives. The forum has taken stock of how far the government has implemented its pre-election commitments and agreed on a roadmap for expediting full delivery, taking into account views and inputs of stakeholders.
So we're not allowed to be distracted. We'll not be drawn into pettiness, into scheming how to heckle somebody, how to, attack who, how to block a road and prevent people from accessing their destinations. Will not be drawn to that kind of, those are retrogressive, primitive and dangerous politics. We will not go there. All of us, as leaders from Embu County, will not allow that to happen. But at the same time, we are open to people of diverse political opinions.
The height of irresponsibility on arrival here to start planning, conniving, and jostling around for, I don't know, some imaginary political space, I don't know for when. That would be the height of responsibility. Irresponsibility. For now, I am not worried about the political environment, not just in Embu, Tharaka Nithi, in any part of the country. It doesn't worry me. What is occupying my mind now, every day, and what is making me lose sleep is the issue that I am deputy president today.
Hundreds of youths stand up at Kisii National Polytechnic for job applications in Middle East countries, courtesy of the institution and labor recruitment agencies. The two-day exercise saw applicants with technical skills, including building, construction, among other TVET courses, taken through the interviews. It, however, turned out youths with the advertised skills and those without any, including academic qualifications, were also allowed to apply for consideration. Representatives from the Labor Ministry or the county docket, as had been the case in such exercises elsewhere in the country, were conspicuously absent. Kisii National Polytechnic Deputy Registrar Frida Nyakerario urged the skilled and non-skilled youths to present themselves for the job opportunities.
Nimesomea kazi ya building and construction. Nimekuja kwa hii kampuni ya Blue Waves kutafuta kazi. Naomba kwa hiyo kazi tupate kazi.
Nimekuja siku ya leo katika chuo cha Kisii National Polytechnic kuweza kutafuta kazi katika kampuni ambayo inaitwa Blue Wave ili niweze kujiendeleza mimi pamoja na familia yangu.
Kuja ili nipate kazi, niweze kusaidia wazazi wangu kulingana na background yetu. Niweze kuwainua kidogo wakati nitapata kazi, na nikitoka huko nitakuja kueleza mengi ambayo tutaona huko nje, na kama tutasaidika tunaomba Mungu Mwenyezi atubariki ili tuweze kupata hiyo kazi na tuendeleze maisha yetu.
Nimekuja hapa KNP ili nikuje kutafuta kazi ambao tumefanikiwa kupata kampuni ambayo inaitwa Brew ambayo nataka ituchukue nje ili tuende kufanya kazi. Mimi ni shughuli yangu ni kufanya mason, na naomba nikifanikiwa nikipata hiyo kazi ili nipate kusaidia watoto wangu na familia trach. Kwa hivyo wale wengine wote ambao wanataka kazi nafasi hiko.
Skills needed include youth with electrical engineering, building technology, mechanical. Generally, the TVET engineering courses are being recruited. If you have a certificate in any of those engineering courses, present yourself. And if you don't have, you have a certificate in any other, you are still eligible for recruitment because we are equally recruiting for unskilled labor.
Bungoma County Government has officially opened a fire fighting and rescue center in Webuye town, a center that will help fight fire tragedies and other emergencies in Webuye, Kimilili and Tongaren areas. The center cost approximately 6.6 million shillings, 1.5 million shillings being provided by the government of Poland. The associate of the Embassy of Poland in Kenya, Pijanowski Powell, has asked the Bungoma County government to ensure that the machinery to be used in the center is maintained regularly. Deputy Governor Jennifer Mbatiang has indicated that the issues of the firefighting workers will be highlighted. This project being praised by Maraka Ward Representative Ali Majani Mutoka.
Station is very important because it's on our highway from Nairobi all the way to Malaba. Is a road that goes to Uganda mpaka kule DRC, na tumekuwa na sometimes na accidents nyingi hapa, and we have not been able to respond. So with this, it will supplement what we have in Bungoma, and also want to have another one in Kapsokwang, so that in case kuna moto tuwe tunaweza kurespond haraka iwezekanavyo.
Our staff ambao wanafanya under your department, I know it is a very risk area of operation, na tunaomba kama pia utaangalia masilahi yao, maybe in terms of paying them risk allowance and other things, so that they can also feel they are part of this government, because anyone, kila mtu anatakanga apewe motivation. So if they are motivated, they will work so well. You can imagine they have worked under very difficult circumstances.
I'm happy and also proud to see especially the motivation and willingness of the county and of its people to support such initiatives. I know that it's totally not so obvious in Kenya to support fire rescue stations and system at all.
Well, that's a huge relief for residents for Bungoma County, receiving that kind of, center and the investment to it. But it's also a question of, for how long can that be maintained, and is it something long-term? Because it all falls back to also operations and the welfare of workers working in it. So we're hoping that county governments that have this kind of centers are really able to utilize and to maintain them properly if and when emergency cases pop up, because they always do somehow. So allow me to wrap it up at that point tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you are up to speed with what is making headlines across the country. I wish you a fantastic, blessed weekend ahead. Thank you for watching. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Good night and God bless.